Hello again. It is Wing Nation presented by Hercules Tires. Right on our strength, talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week. And we are so glad that you joined us. Erin, Evernham, and Steve Post, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Are you kidding me? I was just at Port Royal Speedway this weekend.
know. In the rain.
Fantastic. Oh, there was rain. That's right. We didn't even notice there was rain. Well, we did notice there was rain because it gave more time for other festivities and activities. Oh,
consumption.
My gosh. Yes, little consumption. I actually was on good behavior, except for pie consumption was a little bit high.
I did see a video.
Yeah, I won the pie eating contest. All right. I think in 2019 we go to the racetrack, we love everybody, we hang out, we have a good time, and we just take for granted that that's the world. And then enter 2020, enter 2020.
Disaster.
And it's like, and so I think the neat part of what it was going back now for Wing Nation shows, the good news is it's like we just hit pause. We didn't go backward, we didn't go forward, we just hit pause and wide open all weekend long.
Yeah. Well, I feel like there's a greater sense of appreciation that taken for granted that we did in 2019. Yeah. Now we're like, wow.
Yeah.
We were really lucky to be able to do this all the time.
You were down at Amelia Island 2 weeks ago and Charlotte Motor Speedway this past weekend. It was like normal. It was like we haven't had this for like a year and a half or 2 years.
Yeah, and it's weird, like you said, it almost in some ways felt like just a pause. Like you almost, in a way, forgot that we went a year without any, or year plus without any of it. But it was great at both of those events, to see people, to hug people,
right,
to catch up with people. You know, people's lives have changed a lot in a year and a half. It's
really
crazy.
Have. Yeah, I mean, the Port Royal team, you know, we always talk about Steve O'Neill, and he does a great job, and Todd Weichert, what Todd does with the Weichert Memorial and his staff. But the Port Royal promotional team, you know, the guys, Earl and his band of crazies, okay, to hang at a bar and drink beer, to go from tailgate to tailgate and drink beer and do shots and just there are things that it's like, I don't know that I realized how much I missed doing it until you start doing it again. It's like, oh my God, this is great.
This is fun.
We got to, and that's the thing. You have people, you know, it's like Ashley and I, and Ashley, we've known each other forever, it seems like now.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we have the Port Royal guys that we've known somewhat, you know, that we know those guys and they're all fun. And then, Haley Shanley from Flow Racing and Tyler McCann and Chet was there, and they're joined it. And it's like, so you have these new friends that you never met before. You have these people you kind of know, but really got like, man, I really like these guys and gals. They're great people. And then you have your buds like Ashley and I are just kind of palling around, and it was just spectacular.
Yeah. And that is one good thing about a rain out, is you get to actually spend more time with people.
Well, and that's the thing. Normally the tailgating contest is like a 1 hour quick trip through. Well, we had like 3 hours. So we stopped.
That could get interesting.
Yes, it did. And it did.
Is that when the pie eating contest
happened? That was when the pie eating contest happened. Oh, gosh. That was when the Cinnamon Toast Crunch shots happened. Haley from Speed Shift, Haley Shannon, she's just awesome. She sends me a text yesterday. She had to leave. We had to leave. And she sends me a text and she says, my jaw hurt from laughing. So, I mean, it's just good. It's just good. So, it was just good. Great stuff. That's for sure. Fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. Port Royal Speedway, the Speed Palace. So, let's get into it. Our Hefner Racing products, hot topics. Because we got a lot of ground to cover. It was Memorial Day weekend. One of the hot topics is Kyle Larson. Thursday night, he kicked off the weekend at Atomic Speedway with a $20,000 fast win. Monday, it was the World of Outlaws at Lawrenceburg. In between, he had that little Coca-Cola 600 win, led 327 to 400 laps. Hendrick Motorsports 269th win. When you look at a 12-month period in the life of Kyle Larson, what a difference that is, huh?
Unbelievable.
I mean, he is living right now.
Yeah.
I mean, in a lot of ways, he's living right.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Coke 600, he dominated.
It was unreal.
It was like, all right, can you maybe just ease up so we can have a show here?
Right.
It was impressive. And then to go to Lawrenceburg the next night.
Yeah, exactly.
And whoop, just the World of Outlaws.
Yeah, just cowboy up on that racetrack. Kyle Larson is living right. I understand this is Wing Nation and everything, but if you don't find Helio Castroneves win at Indy cool. You're not a race fan or a human, I guess. Not even. That was awesome, wasn't it?
It was awesome. New SRX driver as well.
Oh, that's right. He's going to be.
So he's coming to Knoxville and Eldora.
He's Knoxville and Eldora bound after that. Well,
so
that's
there's
what
a little sprint car connection there.
Used to be you win a big race, you go into Disney. Now you're going to Eldora and Knoxville. We're stepping up. Exactly.
But how about his victory lane celebration? Or not even his victory celebration. I thought it was awesome that he ran the front stretch. It was like the longest time I've ever seen from the checkered flag to an interview. Ray was going and doing something, and he came back, and he was like, oh, what did he say in his interview? I'm like, it hasn't started yet. We're still watching him run and hug and shake hands and all of the above. And how about when Mario Andretti kissed him on the head? That was the coolest moment.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
And he ties A.J. Foyt, Al Unser, and Rick Mears as 4-time winners. It's not bad company to be in, is it?
Not at all.
Yeah. I wonder if they got to go to Knoxville and Eldora afterward, though. I think Helio might have that. Might have the
maybe
advantage.
you should bring him along.
That's it, exactly. No, you don't want to bring AJ along. He'll elbow you out of one of those cars and go out and whoop everybody.
Exactly. Come on, bring it.
Come on, yeah, we want AJ. Neat stuff, that is for sure. This one here, really cool story. Ryan Timms, he is I believe he's a teenager. I'm not sure if he's 14 or 16. There was a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old racing, okay? So he's one of those. He's a teenager. Saturday night, he won the Power I midget race at Lake the Ozark Speedway. Sunday, the $10,000 Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour win. Now, you want to talk about Cowboy Up?
That's a big weekend.
That racetrack was rougher than anything. I mean, Seth Berkman, green flag, Seth Berkman goes in turn one, boom, 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 boom. I mean, at one time, Timms and Blake Hahn are going boom, 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 boom. They got saved by a caution. They did everything but flip. It was crazy. But Ryan Timms conquered it and scored the $10,000 win. Brad Sweet, we're going to talk to Brad. Brad did not win a World of Outlaw race this weekend, but he had a really good weekend.
Yeah.
Because he went to Knoxville and won. And then I want to talk to him about last night at Lawrenceburg because a lot of good stuff there.
A lot happening there.
A lot happened there. A lot happened at Lawrenceburg. Boy, that's for sure. Isn't it cool? There is something really, really neat that I've really appreciated and loved about Lawrenceburg on Monday night of Memorial Day weekend. We have all of this overloaded. I did the trucks on Friday night at Charlotte, and we're at Port Royal, so I'm not paying a lot of attention to what's going on at Charlotte or anywhere else. Even Indy, I didn't even see Indy. People are telling us while we're doing the tailgate thing what's going on at Indy.
It was good. It was the whole race was great.
The race was good. And then, so Monday I kind of hit the ground. I'm like, okay, let me look. And I look at some of Helio's celebration. I look at some of Larson's stuff. I look at this. I look at, the Knoxville recap. There's something great about Lawrenceburg on Monday night.
Like the finisher.
Exclamation point on the weekend.
Yep.
It was really cool. And as we mentioned, Kyle won. I go on TJ Slideways, and there's smiling Sammy Swindell still winning. Picked up a 361 out of Vado Speedway Park. And the NOSA Sprints, they had a big weekend. I love this. Friday night, River City's Jade Hastings. Saturday night, Park Jefferson, Tim Kading. TK. Sunday at Houston's, Austin McCarl. Monday at Houston's, Parker Price Miller, but he was driving for Guy Forbrook.
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome? Guy Forbrook, that 5-car in Victory Lane. That was pretty neat.
It was, Guy, great to see him back in Victory Lane.
Yeah, absolutely. And when they finally did get the race at Port Royal, big shocker, Lance Dewease scored the win. But, man, I am telling you, the competition level up in Pennsylvania, Lance is earning these babies.
Yeah.
When he's getting them, he's getting them. But, boy, is he having to earn these wins. My God, used to be you think Lance probably not working up a sweat.
Yeah.
I think he's working up a sweat with these young kids now because there's a bunch of them, too.
Yeah. And as he said, they're knocking down the wall, and they're fast.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, hey, good news for Lance. Macri's destroyed his car, and so he's not here. Oh, wait, it's Logan Wagner now.
Yep.
And you got Dietrich going from like 17th to 4th. It's insane how good, and it's insane how good things are at Pennsylvania. So, good stuff. Great stuff. Great stuff. There you have it, our Hefner Racing products. Hot topics. Hefner Racing products, it's easy to shop their entire line of Hefner Racing products. You can go to hrpracing.com from your desktop or right on your phone.
And first-time online orders, you can use promo code MRN at checkout for 10% off your first order.
There we go. There you go, www.hrpracing.com. Speaking of racing, speaking of Knoxville, Brad Sweet's going to join us here in a little bit. Take a look at this. Take a listen to this. Knoxville Raceway, Gio Scelzi's leading. Tony Bachhoven with the call on Dirt Vision.
And now for the Dryden death-defying move of the week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves.
Brad Sweet now looking low again in turn number 4 for the top spot. Drag race down the front chute. Selzy has it at the line. Brad Sweet right there through the middle now takes the lead in turn number 2. Oh, Gio Selzy, look out!
That death-defying move was brought to you by Dryden Diesel All Death, the official death of the world of outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
For decades, Dryden Lubricants has been made in America and made to last, paving the way on our highways, in our fields, and on the production line. Today, Dryden offers a complete line of engine oils, greases, hydraulic and transmission fluids, and diesel exhaust fluid. If you want greater performance and protection for your critical engines and equipment, go to Dryden.com. Dryden, American owned and operated, and a proud supporter of racing and race fans everywhere. Wing Nation presented by Hercules Tires. Let's get right to it. It's the Dryden Hotline. Fresh off from a win at the famed Marion County Fairgrounds on Saturday night. The Big Cat joins us, Brad Sweet. Hello, Brad. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Yeah, thanks for having me back on.
Neat to chat with you. Knoxville, I know the rain out, and well, the schedule actually was opened up anyhow, but then the rain and everything else gave you the opportunity. How good of a feeling is it for you to go to where our biggest race is coming up and a couple of other World of Outlaw races between now and then, and to be able to score the win?
Obviously, gives me a lot more confidence. We've been struggling there, so that's the reason we kind of decided to go over there for, a non-outlaw race, to gain some laps and be able to try some things. And, it definitely paid off. We were able to kind of have a night where you're, not so stressed about points and things like that, and try some different things, and definitely got a better direction and gives us a lot more confidence to go back there for sure.
Brad, you said you guys hit on something or you found something when you're there. Knoxville is such a tricky place. What are some of the things, obviously you're not going to tell your secrets, but what are some of the things that are important? Is it like shock package? Is it major changes? What are some things that you guys find really important at Knoxville?
It's just always a balance, It's never one magic wand that fixes anything. It's just kind of a lot of little small things that seem to fix it. And right now with the cars, everything, seems really, small windows. So you can be off, make a small change and be way better. So, it's just trying to understand those things that are happening, and then just trying to make sure that, you find that balance that makes the driver comfortable. And I was much more comfortable there than I've been, in the last 2 years. I really was comfortable in 2018 when we won, and you never had quite found that balance. And then the other night, I kind of started to feel, as close to that as I've felt in a few years. So, that's exciting, but we still got to go back there with, all the competition there and kind of see how we stack up for these June outlaw races. And then, hopefully we'll see where we're at and can come back real strong in August.
Brad, you talk about such a small window, and there's a lot of talk. We were up at Port Royal. There's a lot of talk about just how tight everything is, how tight the competition is, just the challenges of hooking the tires up and all of that. Is Knoxville the same, or are there some just little minor nuances up there that have changed as well?
I think the biggest thing is this from year to year, something always changes within the tires and things that, I don't know what it is, to be dead honest with you, but, your setups work one year and whether the track conditions just change a little bit or something that was making your car, hook up one year changes. We always kind of blame it on the tires. That's kind of what the racers do. Cause that's the one thing that we don't get to build. We just get to bolt on. And, we feel like sometimes they change just a little bit, not anything crazy, and then it just changes your setups a little bit and you kind of get moving around trying to figure out, what the tire wants, what the car wants. And, I just feel like the type of tires that we have, they're non-grow tires, so there's not a lot of movement in the tire. And I think that's what makes the window really small, for the cars to be right or wrong. And, I think that it keeps the competition tight, and it, definitely makes you work at it extra hard to get everything right.
Interesting. Brad, the Duncans do such a fabulous job prepping the Knoxville track. But is there any differences from like a Saturday night, which the track looked pretty wide for you guys, and the Knoxville tune-up show to what you get in August when you come back from the Nationals? Obviously, there's way more cars in a few days for the Nationals, but do you usually find differences in August?
Yeah, so typically on a weekly show with the 305s and the 360s, you don't get a very good bottom at Knoxville, and I know that they're working really hard to kind of, they want to make sure there's 2 or 3 grooves. So that bottom groove at Knoxville is very important to kind of create that type of racing that we're used to seeing there. And, so we didn't know what we'd get on the weekly show, but I felt like that was the type of track that you'd more get at the Knoxville Nationals. They have a lot more control on those through the nights without the 360s and the 305s that, can kind of wear the bottom out a little. The 410s are a lot harder to hit the bottom, so a lot less guys run down there. And, I think they do a really good job no matter what it seems like. They're very consistent, but I felt like that weekly track was, closer to a track that we'll see in August potentially, but you honestly just never know. And that's the beauty of sprint car racing is you always got to be willing to adapt on the fly to whatever conditions that we get.
Brad, when you roll into a racetrack, you don't roll in there to finish 7th. I understand that. I get that. I respect that. And that's why you're the big cat. And that's why we love to watch you race. But when you look at a night like last night in Lawrenceburg, when you get the green flag in the heat race and all hell breaks loose right in front of you and you trash your car, and your teammates even involved with it, you don't even get a B main because of the car count and everything like that. How important and in a weird way, satisfying is a 7th place run on a night like last night at Lawrenceburg?
Yeah, I think that's World of Outlaw racing at its finest. I think that's those are the nights that can, win you the championship. It's how you overcome the adversity. So, we've been in these positions before. Last year, similar situation and had to overcome, a night like that. And, just things like that can happen. So it's all about preparation. It's about keeping your mind set, keeping focused, keeping your mind right to make sure that you get the best possible finish. So, obviously when you're starting 24th, you're in a backup car, your mindset's more, to get a top 10 if, would become a good night. So obviously a 7th is a good recovery, a good comeback. And, now we can regroup and hopefully, not have any more of those nights.
Brad, I know your team is nothing but top shelf and well prepared, and it's been a long time since I've driven a sprint car, but it never seemed to me that 2 chassis were the same. So when you pull out a backup car, is it a lot different? Are they really similar nowadays?
Yeah, so what we do to try to eliminate any, thing like that happen is we'll run a couple nights on our backup car early in the season, and then put it upstairs so that we have, notes on it and kind of, a feel for it. So honestly, I've driven that car probably 6 or 8 times, 6 or 8 times this year, and we've actually won in that car. So, that's kind of how we like to do it. We don't like to, have a new car just sitting there that we don't know anything about. So we've kind of learned that, and Eric and Andrew and Joe, my guys, do a really good job. We have, every car that we have is, it seems like they're all very consistent, and Maxim does a great job, giving us great cars. So, yeah, we've been pretty fortunate with that.
Can you, in layman's terms, I love that you get laps with that backup car. I get that. I think that makes so much sense. But in layman's terms, are there little subtle things, though, that you're like, okay, we took this car, we ran with it, we're going to need to do this tonight here at Lawrenceburg? Are there subtle little things with these cars still, though? And what would they be if they are?
Yeah, some cars just end up maybe with a little bit different ride height, so just a little bit different things. But honestly, we've been very fortunate to get things that are pretty identical. We work at that too, obviously with Maxim, and make sure that, that we're putting the same product on the track every time to keep that consistency, as best as possible. So honestly, we pulled the backup car down and basically with no laps, just put a setup that we thought would work, that we've ran at other tracks, and it, felt pretty good, even in the rough at Lawrenceburg. So I think we have a very good package and a good understanding of what's going on right now. So we're able to make, some good decisions, some educated decisions. And I think that's kind of what helps us stay consistent at times.
So, Brad, now you pulled the backup car out. You're out in the Midwest. What is the logistics like of, I know you probably have another kit or in the trailer. But logistically, how easy is it to replace that mid-season?
Yeah, so basically what we'll do is we'll bring that third car down, make it completely ready to go, and it'll become the backup car. And then we're going to race Grand Forks and Sauk Rapids this weekend, and then the guys were going home. And luckily for us, we have, another car at home at the shop, and I think we actually have a couple cars. So they'll regroup at the shop next week. Obviously, hopefully this weekend goes, smoothly, and we can get to that point where we can, get another car in the trailer and kind of get the, regroup on the parts and the wing and everything that we, damage. And then when we hit the road, the weekend after going to Knoxville, we should be, stocked back up and kind of ready to go. But, in those situations, we're kind of, we have a little trailer and a truck, at home, and we have cars that are sitting there built. So if we ever did get in a situation where we needed a car, delivered or something, we would, have someone drive it out to us or drive a wing in a car out to us. So, we've been in those situations before. Obviously, the further west you go for us, the harder, more logistically challenging, it is to kind of figure that stuff out. But, KKR, Justin Adams, he's a magician at figuring out issues and problems and logistics. So he does a great job, and we always, have what we need.
I want to talk a little bit more about it because I've had a chance. What KKR, one of the things they do here is they do a flea market for the 305 racers at the end of the year. And Justin is always up there kind of manning that and overseeing that, and the level of respect, just the 305 guys to be able to go in and pick Justin Adams' brain, that's better than all the parts and pieces they buy as well. Brad, we talk about your team and you talk about your guys on the road, but the luxury of having a bench back home like that with Justin manning the fort there, that's got to be comforting and huge as well.
Yeah, Justin's a huge asset for KKR. He's a little more on the road right now, crew chief in James's car, but
that's right.
He still gets home a lot. He's he does a lot of different things. He coaches a high school wrestling team. He helps in the screen print shop. He manages KKR, and he's a crew chief. So he's pretty amazing. Not sure how he does it all, but he does, and he does a great job at it all. So he's definitely been a huge asset. He's one of those guys that just been around racing his whole life, so he just understands. There's just never seems to be a problem too big for Justin to handle, whether you're, welding a bar in at the racetrack or fixing the car at the track, or, you got 2 demolished race cars last night. It seems like he thrives in that chaos and just always, finds a solution and becomes the leader. And, you definitely need somebody like that, on your side and on your team. So we definitely love having Justin.
I forgot. I didn't even put together the 9 car. That's right. That he's the crew chief on that. I'll just throw another log on the fire. Another project there for him to handle. Another title, exactly. Well, Brad, I'll tell you what. I was thinking about this. I'm like, for a guy who did not win a World of Outlaw race this weekend, you had a really good weekend, and it's great to catch up with you. We wish you the best this weekend up in the North Country, and then to Knoxville, and then throughout. I know we'll talk to you again, but thanks again for the time and continued success on the World of Outlaw Tour.
Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on. We'll talk soon, hopefully.
There we go. The Big Cat, Brad Sweet, joining us.
Having a pretty
citywide to countryside. Yeah. Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. Go to HerculesTires.com. There you can find the nearest authorized Hercules retail location to you. Plus, you can use the tire tracker to find out which Hercules tire fits your vehicle the best. That's HerculesTires.com. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Over 200 events from coast to coast, and they're celebrating 30 years of scattering soil. The American Sprint Car Series, the world's largest sprint car sanctioning body, is bringing more thrills with wing and even more non-wing action in 2021. 11 regional tours, the national tour. No matter where you are, we're coming to a track near you. Can't be there? Get dull with streaming fun with Racing Boys and FlowRacing.com, bringing all the adrenaline to your favorite streaming device. See the full lineup of events now at ASCSRacing.com.
Aggressive Hydraulics provides solutions for virtually every industry that uses hydraulic cylinders. For instance, agriculture, construction, defense, emergency services, energy, food processing, forestry, marine, mining, railway, and even truck equipment. They design and manufacture mobile-style single-stage cylinders as well as multi-stage telescopic cylinders. It's a no one-size-fits-all approach with Aggressive Hydraulics. Check out their story at aggressivehydraulics.com.
Wing Nation continues on here. We're presented by Hercules Tires. We're in the Hercules Tires studios. Let's go right back to the Dry Dean Hotline. Joining us fresh off from a big old payday at the Speed Palace last night, Lance Dewease is on the line. Hello, Lance. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Well, thanks for having me again.
Lance, yeah, we've talked to you a lot here between our live show and last week. That's right, you haven't, because Allison was here last week. We had him on our podcast last week as well.
And then you got to see him and
we got to see him and hang out with him and Walt Dyer. We got to hang with him and Walt. Oh my gosh, for the Lance and Walt comedy show. Oh my gosh, it was great stuff. We'll probably talk a little bit about that, but Lance, I'm telling you, at one time it looked like you didn't have to work up a sweat to win these races. It looks like now with these kids at Port Royal, they're making you work up a sweat. Congratulations, boy! You had to work hard to get that one last night.
Yeah, Port tricky track, anymore. It's kind of top dominant for the guys that are really good on it, and that's Anthony and Brent Marks and Logan Wagner and stuff like that. But we're still pretty good elsewhere, and we can run the top when we have to. And it was a pretty exciting race to be part of there yesterday.
Lance, you always have that ability to make that middle line work, and obviously comes with years of experience. But when you're doing that and you see the guys running up on the top, just banging against the fence, how is it hard to sometimes be patient?
Well, yes and no. Our car is not the greatest against the fence like that. We're normally too tight, so it's hard for me to. There's no way I could run a line like Anthony does. Our car would never. I'd be drive it straight in the fence. It would never turn. Mm-hmm. He kind of uses the fence as his cushion, where we're always a little bit on the tight side, so it's hard for me to be that high up getting in. Mm-hmm. But the flip side of that is we can move around, we can maneuver. And in clean air, I can run the middle all but as hard as those guys can run the wall. I mean, this last night's racetrack was pretty amazing because when those guys like Anthony and them would hit that top, they couldn't do it every single lap. But man, when they hit that top, it was like 200 horsepower faster looking than the guy in front of them. But the one time they would hit it right, and next time they wouldn't, and it was just very hard. When we had that restart, and when he got by me there a little bit, we had that restart, I got back by him. I just kind of made my mind up. I need to be up, especially 1 and 2, to take his momentum away where he couldn't get big runs at me. And when we moved up and stayed up a little higher, especially on the exit, it seemed to help.
It's unreal to me how much you have to run offense and defense at the same time, Lance.
Well, I don't run defense. Defense loses races. You just have to be smart and know who you race against and where they are best at. And if you can if you can maintain a good pace in their line, sometimes that's better for you to do. But you can't, when you get into, you watch people become defensively racing, they normally slow down. Mm-hmm. And all they're doing is hurting the guy that's behind them a little bit, and once that guy gets by them, they check out. But you still just have to be smart about it. I thought we were still pretty darn good. I kind of wasn't running 1 and 2 right when Anthony got by me, and but we got back by him. We were going back and forth a little bit there when the caution come out, and then on the restart, my car was really good all night in the feature there on starts, and we could run the bottom, middle so hard in 1 and 2 that I thought we could get a shot at him, and we did, and we got in front of him, and then, we kind of got going, and I moved up, and, those guys run that wall hard, real hard, and they hit it multiple times during the night. Sooner or later, that's going to bite them, and it did Anthony there last night.
Lance, when someone like Anthony is running up against the fence like that, when you want to not play defense, but kind of take away their line or take away their air, how far up the track do you need to run right in the line that they're running? Or can you run just like 3/4 of the way up the track and it'll mess up the air enough to kind of throw them off?
For us, it tends to be, I need to be like a car length close to their line. I don't have to be their line.
Yeah.
I just need to be a car length close. And our car is normally pretty good that we can make speed doing that and not slow down. And you just take enough air. You just kind of break their it's a different story when you're all by yourself and you run the wall and you're not looking at a car in front of you. Yeah, when you're watching a car in front of you and also trying to run the wall, you're going to make mistakes, especially with how accurate you have to be with how they run it. So, I watched I didn't watch the full race yet, but I will probably within the next day or so to see areas that we maybe could improve on. But I watched the highlights of it, and for like 2 or 3 laps straight before he broke his axle, he hit the wall pretty darn hard. And I don't know if that's from him just trying to run so hard or just because I'm there in his vision. You know what I'm saying? He can't. He has to look at me too. He has to look at that car in front of him too. So that's just all part of it. Anthony's going to be a great racer. He's come a long way in a short period of time, and at Port Royal, he's really, really tough up there.
Well, that's something I didn't think about. Every time you've talked on the show, or even from my little bit of racing, I always thought it was about you disturbing his air. I didn't really think about the fact it was him focusing on your car as well. It's probably a combination of the factors. Yeah,
it's a combination of that. Like when we first started doing, and I can't remember if did you ever time trial in groups? Or were you done racing before that?
I don't think so.
So, like, when we first started doing this group time trial stuff, especially like at Lincoln when they first started doing it years ago, it was hard initially because I caught myself watching the guy in front of me instead of just running my lines.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of goes back to like the lap car deal. When you start running their line or you slow down to their pace, they're distracting you basically. So you need to, the group time trial deal was, it took us a little bit to realize, hey, just don't even worry about that car in front of you. If you see it, don't even pay attention to it. You know what I mean? And when run the line, you need to run to go fast. But it took a little bit to get used to that because we'd never done it at that stage. But that's kind of the same thing. It's just like, last night, besides the dirty air affects him, his vision, now he has to pay attention to me and the wall. You know what I mean? It's just a little bit more that you have to pay attention to. It's no different than when you're racing back in the middle of the pack. You're watching the guy in front of you. You're watching the guy in front of him. And you're watching the guy in front of him. Yeah, you know what I mean? Trying to figure out what's going on. And it's a little bit, to me, it's a little harder to do and be precise every single time.
Well, it's interesting because it's human nature. When you think about even kids racing go-karts, or you see them follow each other. That's really an interesting thought. Yeah.
Crazy. Really is. So
it's just, to me, the really good racers, we race a half lap ahead of us, basically. We're paying attention to something that's half lap ahead. We see, as we come off of 4, I see what's going on going into 1. There could be 10 cars in between me, but I still pay attention to what's going in going 1. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think all the really, really good racers do that because that's why they're not in wrecks that often. That's why they're not, they just know what's going on the racetrack. But it still is a little bit of distraction to you. You're looking at different things.
Mm-hmm.
And when those guys run the wall the way they like to run the wall and make that mile per hour and take all those high risks, if you you put something else in their eye, it's going to make it a little harder on them.
Because it is. It's so precise. And Anthony told us on our live show yesterday, he says, I don't even think about the fact that I'm an inch or two away from disaster. And he is, and you're right, he is. But you throw one more distraction in there,
or a few,
yeah. a light blue one in there in front of him. But and speaking of that, how about it's got to be cool celebrating Davy Brown's birthday in Victory Lane at Port Royal. That has to be a neat moment as well.
It really is. It's special to me every time we're in Victory Lane with him. Like I said yesterday, 87 years old. He works on that race car. He puts his heart and soul into that race car. It makes you want to do the best you can do. You know, when we're all his age, if we can get around and do the things he's doing, it'll just be unbelievable. But he just enjoys it, and he has passion still for it, and it just blows me away.
Well, I saw where he missed your 100th win at the Grove, so you told him he had to stick around yesterday, didn't you?
Well, yeah, he didn't miss the 100th win, but he just didn't come to Victory Lane. He left. He was tired, and he left, and he really didn't think about it being my 100th. Yeah, I mean, he just knew we won, and he was tired, and he left instead of coming out Victory Lane. He kind of wish he would have now, but that was, it's no big deal. I mean,
I actually looked for him in the photo, and I didn't see him.
Yeah, a lot of people like to bash that we don't race more or we don't race this and this, but we take care of the people involved in our team, and our whole team is pretty old. And it's easily to get worn out at those ages, and we take care of Davey, make sure he don't get too worn out, and that's why we run the schedule we run and are smart about what we do.
Yeah, well, Davey probably had 2 or 3 different ideas after that 100th win, and he was thinking about them on the ride home about how to make that car better. So he was.
Oh yeah, I guarantee he was thinking about the car last night. Him and Donald were talking about things about the car and talking about things about the motor, and after the races, and that's how we all are, and that's how we're happy to win, we're excited to win, but I can tell you today we're worried about Friday right now. You know what I mean? Yesterday's over, so that's what I think makes them very good as a team. That they know when we're good, they know when we're not. We were pretty darn good last night. But they also know there's always a little bit of room for improvement, here and there. You know what I mean?
It's amazing. It really is. Lance, we don't have much more time left, but I want to, and those of you that haven't seen our show from Saturday night, go on our Facebook Live or Flo's Facebook Live, and, it was great. We had Ty Scott on the program. We had Ron Trevis, great chassis builder, on the program. We had Paul Pitzer. But the Lance and Walt Dyer Comedy Hour was spectacular. You had shared with Allison and I last week that he's got a really neat, fun, dry sense of humor. I cannot even fathom what that was like spending all that time with him. And I think I just really want to say I appreciate you driving up on a rainout, come up and hang with Walt and us, because all day Sunday, that's all everyone was talking about at Port Royal, and so really neat. What a special man he is.
He is. He truly is. And like I said, you got to see a little bit of his dry sense of humor, and he is. Like we said on the show, we never, in our 7.5 years of being together, never once had harsh words to each other ever. And that just shows you the type of people we both are. But he was just so much fun to drive for. He made it so fun for you. Just like now, like the deal I'm involved with now, the same way we kind of have fun, mess with people and have fun. You know what I mean? And the success shows from it. But like I said plenty of times, I owe everything to Walt Dyer. That's why we'll be out for his induction next Saturday in Knoxville, and it's just a blast being around him. I mean that's him. That's him. True to his bone right there.
So, Erin, we had a story. They had a dog, Sugar Ray, okay? And the dog there was some animal that the dog came across. We started with an antelope. We went to an anteater, and we settled on an armadillo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we all kind of said. Lance, I think there was 4 of us on the stage that didn't know what we wanted to do, and I think there was 300 people out there that knew what we were talking about. Because when I think Lance said, what is it? And everyone goes, an armadillo, or what is it? Armadillo. An armadillo. The whole crowd screamed armadillo. God,
we
that was the funniest thing.
Bud couldn't remember what it was, and we're just throwing stuff out there trying to think about it, and finally his son-in-law and daughter were in the background there, and they finally yelled what it was.
Yeah.
But we were confused. We couldn't get it figured out.
But the thing that was funny about it is, like, the next day we're in the campground, and everyone is thinking the same thing. And it's like there was 4 of us who didn't know what we were talking about, and I think most of the other people in there kind of knew what it was. I mean, just fun stuff. Lance, congratulations on the win last night. Thanks again for your getting up to our live show on Saturday and just sharing your insight with us. We appreciate it, and continued success. And I know you're going to enjoy the weekend out in Knoxville after you get done Friday night as they induct Walt Dyer out there into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I am. I just like to thank you guys for doing the shows live from Fort Royal like you've done over the years. Both Saturday and Sunday shows was a tough deal, both nights being rained out, and it was really great of everybody, Danny and Logan, everybody involved come up to the shows, even though we weren't there racing. It was really nice on both nights for all the participants to do that. And it's a blast doing your guys' show, especially live like that, with the group of people around.
Yeah. Yeah. The folks up there, the fans up there, we couldn't believe. It was insane. It really was. And it takes all of us. It takes us doing the show. It takes the fans showing up. It takes you guys showing up as well. And it all comes together, and we survived 2 rainy nights, and you capitalized it on the 3rd night with the big win. Thanks again for the time, Lance. We really appreciate it.
All right, Steve, how did you do in the pie eating contest?
Number 1. Come on.
Of
come
course.
on. I won the
okay,
thing.
Well,
I know you're surprised.
I seen the video of it starting, and then I kind of went and started doing something else and never got back to it. So.
Oh, yeah. No, I won. No, okay. I did. It was, well, they said it was going to be 30 seconds. Okay. So I'm like, okay, I can do this for 30 seconds. Well, I'm face down in the pie. And I could see the other
video.
guys, and I could see the other guys out of my periphery. I could see the other guys coming up and jawing and stuff. And I said, just keep your head down. Keep your
digging.
head down.
Breathe
Exactly.
through your nose.
Well, we had to be in there 20 seconds or 25 seconds, and someone says 20 seconds. I'm like, wait a minute, no. And then finally someone in the crowd took pity on us and just started a 10-second countdown. But no, I think I won it. But Port Royal, boy, I'm telling you, we talk a lot about the track and the effort and the energy and paying the full purse yesterday. They didn't really have to do that and everything else. But away from the track, they put as much energy into it. There were campers up there. There were campers that had to leave on Monday morning and never saw a wheel turned at the racetrack and can't wait to go back again next year. Yeah. They've got it good on the racetrack, but that promotional team does a good job. It's just fun.
They've got everything. They got everything doing right now.
Yep.
So
really do.
My hat's off to everybody involved.
Yep. Thanks, Lance. Appreciate the time.
All right. Thank you.
There we go. Lance Dewease joining us here on Wing Nation. Sage Fruit has been a longtime supporter of sprint car racing, sprint car fans, and us here at Wing Nation. What they pride themselves on most is providing shoppers with the highest quality, best tasting apples, pears, and cherries available. Go to sagefruit.com and make sure you ask your local grocer for Sage Fruit.
Circle B Diecast is the new diecast outlet from Plan B Sales. What started as Lionel and Chase Authentics apparel distributor has grown into the largest distributor of diecast and now includes Auto World Greenlight Collectibles, Brand Art, Sam Bass Artwork, and University of Racing lines. They have a huge inventory. The folks at Circle B Diecast love racing and support drivers like Kyle Larson, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Christopher Bell, and many others with sponsorships and partnerships. And on orders over $20, use promo code MRN for free shipping. Check them out, circlebdiecast.com.
Sunoco is a proud partner of Wing Nation. Not all fuels are created equal, so fill up with Sunoco Ultratech. Sunoco Ultratech is a top-tier detergent gasoline that is proven to make your engine run cleaner, longer, and more efficiently. Using the same detergent package as what is blended into some of Sunoco's high-performance race fuels, you can trust Ultratech for your everyday race. Whether you're headed to the track or just hitting the road, fill up with Sunoco Ultratech and fuel your best. Man, oh man, I'm telling you what, I'm all fired up with this sprint car thing. This sprint car thing, we might just stick around and go to some more races over the course of this year. We talked to people like Brad Sweet and Lance Dewease.
Yeah.
Man, what a deal. National Sprint Car Hall of Fame birthday calendar. Monday, we talked about this. It was Davey's 87th birthday. He spent it in Victory Lane at Port Royal.
Not a bad birthday.
No, not a bad birthday at all. He got up on 87 years in one day, and ever since has been working on how fast is that car going to be Friday night at Williams Grove, which is probably the fact that he's always working, always digging, always moving, probably the fact that he's reached 87 years.
Absolutely.
There's one's related to the other. Later this week, Don Branson. Tomorrow, Steve Kinser's birthday. Norman Bubby Jones. But one of your buddies' birthday today, Carl Kinser. How about that?
I know.
Yeah, the guy you initially didn't have the greatest relationship with, and ended up with a lifelong buddy and friend.
Yeah, he did not really think too highly of a woman in a sprint car.
Really?
No,
not belonging
I
there.
mean, maybe it was just me, but I think it was the whole idea.
Well,
but
it was a different era in time,
exactly.
too. I mean,
so
this was he comes from the era when ladies were not even allowed in the garage.
Oh yeah.
You remember that? Remember when Stevie Waltrip started that mess in NASCAR?
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of hardcore old school guys that said this is the end of NASCAR when we do this.
Yeah, I just interviewed Lynn St. James in Amelia Island.
I bet, Lynn St. James, I bet she had some stories.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. So, yeah, it took me a while. There was a few battles with Mark on track that I think I gained a little respect, and then some teasing in the pit area. And then Mark said, here, you're going to seal the deal by going to his hotel room and delivering him some homemade strawberry ice cream, and you will be your friend forever.
So strawberry ice cream.
Sure enough, homemade strawberry ice cream.
There you go.
That was what sealed the friendship.
Sealed the friendship, that's for sure. He's a 1994 inductee into the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame. He worked at a sawmill, went to a one-room schoolhouse, and on the side tinkered on cars. In the 1970s, he teamed up with Dick Gaines, won a Knoxville Nationals, 2 Little 500s. Gaines slowed down, so Carl decided he had a nephew by the name of Steve that maybe should drive a race car. Yeah. Well, the king. 14 World of Outlaw Championships, 9 Knoxville Nationals, 9 Gold Cups, 2 National Opens, 3 Kings Royal, of course, Super. And I just stopped typing after that. It was just like this one and that one and this one and that one. Steve decides to go NASCAR racing. So, well, I've got a son Mark will put in the car. 2 more World of Outlaw Championships, 3 more Knoxville National wins. And by the time he retired in 2000s, well, he was just iconic.
Awesome.
Unreal, isn't it?
It is. I got to spend some time with him just a few years ago when Mark was inducted into the Hall of Fame. Carl was there, and it was so fun to be back around them.
That is so neat. Another class will be inducted this weekend, the 31st annual induction class this Saturday afternoon. Greg Hodnett, Tim Schaefer, Jeff Swindell, Walt Dyer, Paul Leffler, Don Lamberti, Spencer Riggs, and Bill Cummins. You can still get tickets. You can get tickets at the door. Sprint Car HOF. I think the timing on this is the lunch is at noon in the Dyer Hudson Hall, and the ceremony's at 1 o'clock.
Yep.
And going to be neat.
Catch the races after.
Catch the races after. Yes, it's going to be awesome. That's for sure going to be an awesome day in Knoxville, Iowa. Want to mention this before we get out of here today. Western Pennsylvania Speed Week kicks off tomorrow night. Schaefer Specialized Lubricants, Western Pennsylvania Speed Week, presented by J.S. Bova Excavating tomorrow night up at Michaels Mercer Speedway. Thunder Mountain Speedway on Thursday, Lernerville, Sharon, Tri-City. There's a $7,500 point fund. There's all kinds of quick time and hard charger awards. It is so great what they're doing in Western Pennsylvania with this Speed Week. I love it. I love the effort, the energy going into it. Next up for Wing Nation as far as road shows, Erin, batten down the hatches. It is the showdown. Ashley and I are going to be at the Huset's 50, and it's going to be an all-girls section at the Jackson Nationals. We may go back to no women allowed in the garage after you two cut loose with that.
Especially with the penalty box right
there. The penalty box right there at the Jackson Nationals. It is Erin and Ashley co-hosting Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit at the Jackson Nationals. So it won't be long. We'll be back on the road again. Oh, this is going to be epic. This is going to be epic. So there you have it. Hey, Wing Nation gear is available on the All-Star Circuit of Champions trailer, or you can go to wingnation.com. Follow along with us on social media, on Twitter and on Facebook. We also have a YouTube page where all these interviews are contained. Coming up on Thursday, I'm so glad he won a Wing show this weekend so we could talk to Brady Bacon. My gosh, what a career he had this week.
Yeah, for real.
When you think about it, most people don't have any of the
career
highlights.
He had this week.
It's unreal. And then coming up, and we recorded this one early. There's breaking news on this, and he hasn't. I was like, we recorded this last week. I'm like, I hope Danny doesn't say anything too much to people. There's a little rumbling about it. You're going to have to watch. Danny Lasowski, the dude, joins us on Wing Nation TV, presented by Sage Fruit. Again, thank you to the Big Cat, Brad Sweet, and Lance Dewease for joining us. But more important than all of that, thank you for joining us here this week on Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires.